I repeat that. Welcome everyone to the November meeting of the Hampton Road Ship Model Society. First order of business is to recognize guests. I think I see some new faces. Is this your first time here or not? Second time. You look too familiar for it to be your first time. What's your name again, please?
Rob Heike.
Rob Heike. Welcome back.
He was on the New Jersey show.
Oh, cool. And who else? Any other guests? Yep.
Warren Garcia.
Welcome, Warren.
This is actually Warren's second.
Is it? Okay, when was his first one?
Third. I came a couple.
A few years back or?
I remember one.
Well, there's no statute of limitations in the bylaws. No, he's a member now, just as of last month, he's a member.
Oh,
Yeah, yep.
And this is my second meeting.
Hey, remind me of your name, please. Al Sutton, thank you. Welcome back, Al. And is that all? Anyone on the way of recurring guests online? I'm gonna stop recognizing Mort and Joe. Welcome back, guys.
Joe, I've been talking with Joe, so let Joe speak.
Okay, Joe, you have something to say?
Yeah, I've been an interloper long enough, and I talked to Ryland.
Yeah, Joe, hold on while we try and figure out the audio on our end.
Okay,
Let's see if it's just you. Can anyone else that's online speak? Mort,
Yes,
can you
No.
hear me now?
about the same?
I'm hearing it on the speaker here.
Can you hear me?
Maybe they can turn there.
I can.
Okay.
How's it?
Yes.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I just turned the speaker up on this end. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
I talked to Ryland via email yesterday, and I said I've been an interloper long enough, and I asked to join. So he sent me the information, and if you folks, this August group will have me, I'd like to sign up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we never even vote on associate members, so it's kind of a rubber stamp. Thank you very much for participating. Appreciate it.
Who was that?
Joe Lorenzo.
Okay. I knew this number.
And welcome, Joe.
Thank you. I hail
Okay.
from upstate New York.
Getting cold up there.
Gloomy, I'm about 2 miles from Lake Ontario, and this time of the year through March, it is cloudy and damp.
Yep. Well, hunker down and build a ship model.
That's what I plan to do.
Okay, any additions or corrections to the minutes?
See,
Yep.
I'd like a correction on, there's two names that I have as guests that I'm sure I don't have their last name right.
Okay.
It was Kevin, and I've got Rip Rap. I don't know what it was.
Rimrod.
Huh?
Rimrod.
And there was another Ralph Hinkie,
Rob, he's here.
Rob Hinkie.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
How do you pronounce your last name? Heike.
Hinkie.
Yeah. Maybe spell it out for us.
Sorry for the quick interruption on the 80. Just making sure you guys are all good.
Finally, after our own incompetence was cleared up, but yeah, we're good.
Sorry about that.
No,
Well, just looking at the-
appreciate you stopping by to check on us. Thank you.
We're one of the few societies with the tech audio team.
Okay, anything else?
No, how did you say you spelled your last name, Rob?
Heike.
Okay.
Some comedians in the group trying to whisper, but I bet you that microphone picks it up just fine. Okay, Any-
Mr. Sutton, didn't you have a model of the biboat in Deltaville the first time you came? Was that you?
I did not have one there, but I did go to that museum. I was thinking it was you.
The Crockett.
Our member, Butch Watkins
Which, yeah.
You're right. Okay.
had, I don't know if he had it there, but he did do JD Crockett
Yeah,
by vote.
yeah, he had it here at a meeting.
Okay.
We discussed.
Okay, any other additions or corrections to the minutes? All right, treasurer's report.
Okay, well, we started the month off with $6,133.91. We had dues of $10. We also had a contribution of $15. Total receipts for the month were $25. And disbursements, we had a contribution to the Battleship, New Jersey for $100 and a check to the NRG for the charter chapter dues of $30. Total disbursements were $130, leaving us with a balance of $6,028.91. And our membership, I think we're still at 44 regular members, 7 associate members, and 1 honorary member. And I just want to make a comment about the contribution to the Battleship, New Jersey. I actually got a phone call and from the guy that's one of the he works for the museum, and he was real pleased with the contribution. Really thanked us for making that. He also told me that they are building a one-to-one scale replica of the USS Monitor, and they were here at the museum yesterday. And I told them to stop by the the ship model stand, and I don't know if that happened or not, but they are heading to the shipyard for the launch of the USS New Jersey submarine, the New Jersey submarine namesake. So that was really nice. And I asked him to keep us informed on the progress on the Monitor replica. He said it should look pretty nice up against the New Jersey in the Delaware River once they get it built.
Oh, it's gonna be in the water.
Yes, one-to-one working model. They got a shipyard. They've already raised, I think he said $1 million to get started on it. So a one-to-one, I call it a model, but a replica of the Monitor.
Where are they building it?
I'm assuming somewhere close by.
I hope they don't decide to tow it down here. Let's go through it all over. Built in the yard in the district.
I don't know what shipyard. He said they found a shipyard to build it, but but it's really interesting. And I told him, to keep us informed on that. I mean, he was really a nice guy. We probably talked for about 20 minutes. And, I've never had anybody that made a contribution to actually call me. I have no idea where you got the phone number because it's nowhere on the correspondence or the letter. But I have a feeling it may have been Josh that's official. But one other thing I just want to mention, Artie Womaski, everybody knows Artie, and he got an operation Thursday. Another back operation, and talking to Marty, he's kind of down because Marty, he's always on the go and always doing for others and doing for himself, building models. And he said right now he just sits around the house watching the dogs fight. But so I've got a card here and we'll pass it around and I'll sign it. I'll make sure he gets it.
So he's been released from the hospital then?
I don't know if he's been. No, I talked to him before he went in.
Okay, I talked to Bill yesterday and he was thinking he might be released today. I wasn't sure, because we were planning to go down and see him tomorrow if he was.
Yeah, I don't know when he's getting out.
Okay.
I thought I heard one time Sunday, but
Yeah,
I talked to Marty last Monday. Yeah,
well, they already had him on his feet yesterday.
I'm sure, with, white flags and all, he'll get you on your feet as soon as possible, but any operation, but hopefully, Marty's had some other problems and this just adds to the other problems he's had, but he's been down, but he can't do the modeling or, he's just stuck in the house and he's looking, hopefully this is going to be a solve all, but the other thing, I guess this is probably the discussion. The open building, they start a ship model club. Have you heard of that? Museum.
I'm not aware of it.
Okay, I got some information. on that.
Okay, good. And my main
Yeah.
contact is kind of Alan Reno Smith.
Yeah,
You know John Earl?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that sent an email out.
yeah, we've jumped from treasurer's report to old business to new business. We'll get back on track now. Which brings us to the webmaster's report, and that's me. Just a few things. I've added a few of our past meetings, and just as a reminder, if you're on the website and you go to past events, meetings, I changed the format a little bit. It's just to drop down by year. So if we go, for instance, the October meeting, there's a video for the club business. And a note here that says that the show and tell is part of that video above, who presented what, and then the presentation. And I added some pictures from the logbook, and Ron said he has some more that I could use. So for the picnic meeting, there's a few pictures posted. And likewise for the August meeting, there's some pictures posted of the auction. And what else? I posted a recent logbook and the newsletters from some other clubs. Going back to July, I posted Bo Tomke's Bismarck. Let's see if that's on the main page. Yep. So on the main page, all the recent posts are here. So Bo Tomke is one of our more recent associate members, and he donated this model to the Mayor's Museum. So there's some images of that online. And that's it. I've been updating my own model page for the let's see.
Oh, he's working on the hood right now. I haven't heard from him in
Yeah.
a couple of weeks.
So I've shown this before. I'm not going to go into it in detail. But I have an introduction page, research page with a whole host of notes. And I'm in the progress, and I have the pictures of the finished model, like was shown for Bo's model, and then a whole bunch of notes about the construction. So a lot of people do this on Model Ship World, and I understand why. It's easier for them to do it directly, and you have a wider audience. But if you want exposure on our own website and you want to go, you can go into as much detail as you want. If you give it to me in a format where all I have to do is copy and paste it, then I don't care how much you give me. You can give me a small novel if you wanted. I just don't want to have to type it all out. So if you send me a Word document or something like that, or the text and the pictures in the email, I'll get it posted. If someone's already sent me stuff and I've forgotten about it, my apologies. Give me a kick in the butt, and I'll get it posted online. That's it for Webmaster's report.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
I was on their website, and it's a lot of stuff. I mean, you've done a fantastic job, and
Okay.
I know it takes a lot of time and all, but
I appreciate that. Thank you.
it's got a lot of information. I mean, even the recorded meetings.
The meetings are on YouTube. I looked up, I was going to post it on our own server, and so we don't have to rely on an external source like YouTube, but it was recommended that you make use of YouTube because they have better compression, and then it's their server streaming out all the information and not bogging down our own. So anywho, yeah, thanks again, Rylan. Moving on, old business. I want to bring up when John Jones was here as a guest way back in June, he suggested that we should ask the museum if they'd be willing to put something about our model shop on the website, because right now I don't think we have a presence on the Mariners Museum website. So if they had just a page that talked about the model shop, that would be good exposure for us and maybe draw some people in. His other suggestion was to have chalkboard or something of the like at the entrance, pointing out that the shop is open and what that person was doing that day. Like, is he doing rigging, or is he carving a bread and butter hull, or, something like that. So I guess, Ron, are you still our liaison for things like that? Would you mind, you can talk to me if you need more details, but maybe we could ask them if they'd be willing to do something like that. And John?
Let's get together the break.
Do you think we really need that chalkboard? I mean, people want to come up and look and they'll ask. You can tell them what you're doing.
It's just
Because
to draw them back there, I guess, is the point. It's not a huge need, but I don't think it's a bad idea either. Need no plus yes.
Some of the admissions people do talk about model shop,
Mhm.
and they, when the kids come out with their scavenger hunts,
Mhm.
they'll kind of coax the kids, if you can't find something, go talk to the model makers.
Okay.
So we get that kind
Yeah.
of verbal thing, but yeah, I think some kind of an introductory sign out the main contest would be good.
No, to Tom's question, no, I don't think it's a need at all, but I don't think it's a bad idea either.
okay, so
Hmm.
whoever's in a taco stand that day is going to have to go fill it out and tell people what they're going to do.
Yeah, if they want to go into that detail, yeah. Or they could just, it could be simple, model shops open today or something, I don't know, but.
When I go in, I stick something on the plexi inside that has a little bit about what I'm doing right now. Generally, it's just a sign that
Okay.
says model making 101, hey, open the box,
Well,
make sure everything's there, etc.
If you think the idea doesn't have enough merit, I understand. I just wanted to bring it up because it was mentioned in the past. Okay, so I thought these items were already resolved, but I was going to bring them up as old business just to check. Ryland already mentioned the donation to the New Jersey. So that old business is closed, right, Ryland? Yep.
Yes.
And the NRG charter membership stuff, that's all closed as well.
Been paid and
Yep. Okay. Last meeting, we talked extensively about conferences and or exhibitions. The discussion focused primarily on possible partnerships. For instance, the Washington Ship Model Society, what the venue would be, what the cost would be, how we could defray it with member participation rather than relying on like the museum to do all the work. Gene was offered or was volunteered, I can't remember which, to lead that, and I was going to help him, but I don't think Gene have made it, taken any actions on it, have we?
About what?
Conferences or exhibit?
Oh, no.
Exhibits? No, okay. We will be more proactive on that in the month going forward, perhaps. Any comments on that before I move on to another topic? Pretty much rehashed. Okay. IPMS Richmond was brought up by Ryland last month. He noted that there were no more sponsorships for awards and he wasn't sure how tables were going to be worked out. You learn anything else about that?
I got their last newsletter and I think there were like 20 tables left. And no longer will you be getting plaques for first, second, and third. There'll be medals.
Okay.
And but they still will have some pretty nice awards for the best in show for the different classifications, and then also the best in show. They're still working on a raffle, but it looks like they've scaled back. I mean, they only be in one room this year.
Right.
I need to go to one of the meetings to find out if the club will still have a place to stay. And Richard Leininger is the show director this year.
The tables you're speaking of are vendor tables or for clubs or both?
The vendor tables, I think they had like 20 left.
Okay,
And they were saying they were filling up fast. They hope that they get them all filled up before the end of the year. And this is from the newsletter that's online. But again, Richard Leininger, we dealt with him. He recruited us to judges. So I'm gonna send him an email. I meant to send it before this meeting, but just forgot about it.
so we don't know anything about tables for various clubs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope that we still have our, usual place for us in the Washington Ship
Okay.
Model Society.
Okay.
It just sounds like they're scaling back.
Mhm.
And they are expecting this to be the biggest show yet, since they haven't had one in almost 2 years.
Scaling back, but they expect it to be the biggest show yet. That doesn't sound like.
Yeah, with the number of entries.
Okay.
Skating back from the last big one with the 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they had 2 rooms the last time. And I think they were just too spread out and their people just couldn't handle it. I mean, they're no bigger than us as far as, they may have 20, 25 people at their club meetings, but so it's a lot of work. So,
All right. John, do you want to talk about the donation that was made for the ship model shop at all? Not today. Okay. That's everything I had down for old business. I went through it quickly. Is any comments on what we already discussed
Well,
before I open it up to the floor
I have a couple things.
about what we just discussed, or
No,
we're moving on?
no.
All right. Oh, the things that I went over, does anyone have any comments on those before I open it up to the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. If it's about tools in the model shop,
Oh,
I have a comment on that, several comments on it. Last week, I was trying to use a small drill bit, like a 70 or 75, and discovered that none of the tools in there would hold it. It wouldn't close down. I went through all of them, and then I went through all the collets on the mechanical and electrical drills, and they wouldn't work. So I said, well, if nothing else, I'll just take the pliers and hold the drill bit. So I got out the only needle those pliers that are in there. And they don't even come together. Well, the other thing with holding the drill bit was my fingers. That didn't work. And they had some tweezers in there. But the tip of the tweezer was about the size of my thumb, so I didn't do any good. The net result is I had to either bring it from home or take it home to work on it. At the auction, we auctioned off all that stuff, or gave away most of it. There was a whole lot of tools that George Livingston had. I don't know who wound up with them. But I would like to suggest that somebody go through those, find the duplicates. There were a lot of them. I had them for 6 months in my garage. Missed the opportunity. There's a lot of duplicates in there. Pick out the good ones and send some tools into the shop, into the model shop. And if you have any duplicate tools yourself that you're not using, that don't want, bring them in. We need them.
I have duplicate pin vices myself, and some of them should hold everything down to an 80. So I'll bring something in for that.
That would be a big help. It's very frustrating when you come in there and you go through all those tools and nothing works.
Mm.
There's 3 mini Dremels in there. 2 of them work, 1 doesn't.
Well, I fixed the one that doesn't.
You did? I tried to use it again, this tool didn't work.
I just took it apart and moved a wire. There was a short on the inside of it.
Okay, then we have 3.
And they're, when you buy one, buy 2. If you go to Harbor Freight, they're like $12 mini Dremels. From Harbor Freight.
So we have 3 of them.
They don't last.
All right,
Could you all make a list of what is needed and maybe an email be sent out?
If I may offer, I can take care of a lot of that myself because I've got a lot of duplicates, but I never considered the toolbox there to be a primary toolbox. I always thought my own tools if I've forgotten something out of the toolbox. But you're right, there's not a zero pin device in there at all. I think you're probably around the 72.
Unfortunately, I only have one of some things, which means I'll bring them in. Then I have to take them home again. Sooner or later, something's gonna happen.
it'd be nice if we had all of the staples
Let me
there.
volunteer to do that
Yeah,
and kind of rummage through and get rid of stuff that doesn't work.
why don't we just put a piece of, in addition to whatever you're contributing, why don't we put up a piece of paper around the side where it's not in the public view, it's just a wish list, and we can collect ideas and act on them in mass rather than one at a time.
I will do
And,
that Wednesday.
Cool, thank you.
Well, I guess with that thought in mind, we ought to talk about the money.
You know, we got that money back in December of last year, so it's been almost a year.
We got an $800 donation in Bill Clark's name to basically help outfit the model shop. There are some things that I think we need, but it satisfied some of the shortcomings that some of the model, some of us do. And then there's the staples, like you said. And I like this idea, since, we've tried to do some discussion with the participants in the model shop to see if we could come up with a list. That didn't really go anywhere, but I like this idea of putting the piece of paper up in there and writing down the stuff that you find that you need. We've got that money, and we should probably just, and we need to spend it for that. And we kind of owe it to the folks that gave us the money to tell them what we used it for. And I think there's a couple of, that probably could come to consensus on a couple of bigger ticket items.
Yeah.
But then there are the staples, like you said, a good set of pin devices, go to zero. And I don't know, maybe better scale,
Yeah.
maybe a better tool piece than the Harbor Freight ones. Or something like that. We should make a list.
And John and I discussed, forgive me if I'm out of line here, John, but getting a rope walk, because a lot of people are interested in making it, and it's an excellent guest thing. John said, in his opinion, what the guests are most interested in is the rigging. And if they saw the rigging being laid up, they'd even be more intrigued. Now, the simple one, there's a very expensive ones. Burns used to make one, they no longer do, that's self-contained tabletop, that goes onto a spool, but he's not making it. It was very expensive. Guy in Russia makes a really nice one. It's same basic design, but it has a proprietary circuit board, and I'm worried what happens if that ever goes bad. And all the other ones require a fairly long length, but as long as the museum doesn't mind us setting up a temporary table outside, we would be able to do that. And I think it would be interesting to the guests and useful for the members at the same time. And they're not, if we did the siren type, it's what, $80. It's not that much money. It's in that range, isn't it? Rylan, you know his stuff pretty well.
What was that, the siren roof?
Yeah, it's in that ballpark anyway.
Yeah, it's probably in the $80.
Yeah. I think there's one on what's the source for the model shipway stuff? Model Expo. I think they have one, but it's probably not as nice as Sirens. Yeah. Or maybe they're just reselling his. I can't remember. Someone's chatting. Let me see what they have to say. Okay. Thanks, Joe. All right. So anything else on that topic, or we
could use a small drill piece. Big ones, nice, but small.
Like I said, let's make a list.
Yep.
And we'll talk to the other guys that may not be here, volunteer in
Mhm.
the booth, and and then we'll get the stuff together and go ahead and purchase it.
Okay.
I have something on that. I've been looking for the past month or so about these desktop drill presses, the shorter ones, not the full size one. You can't hardly find them anymore in a lot of the hardware stores. When you do, they've got one of one. It's in the store. You go to Office Depot, and the one they've got is extremely cheap, and it's the only one they've got. And most of the people don't even know it's there. You go to Lowe's, and they've got one that's out on the table. You can order a couple more, but they're disappearing. It's not like it used to be.
So are we looking at a tabletop real drill press? I mean, not real full, or a Dremel type? Oh.
Yeah, I think they were talking about, we already have a tabletop one, don't we?
No,
It's not exactly a tabletop. It looks like something came out of a garage somewhere.
Yeah.
I think what you're looking for is micro mold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw you guys are facing this way. The people in the back were holding up their hands like a 12 inches or less.
That's all
you
you
know.
need for model work.
Yeah.
You don't need a, I mean, the small drill presses in the stores about 2-3 feet.
Mhm.
Where you're gonna put that stuff, but look at micro mold, they sell 2 models.
Yeah. Okay.
Basic model, one little dollar. That's plenty what you need.
Proxon stuff is really nice. I have a couple Proxon tools and they're excellent.
It's the same idea.
You can
Yeah.
source.
And model micro marks are pretty much clones of the Proxon stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Probably the same
Yeah.
factor, I think.
Yeah, I've worked Bill Comet's whole process. It's great.
And Sean has my Proxon table saw. How's that working out for you?
Awesome.
Okay. glad it's working.
Works great. I went out, bought Proxon sander and chop saw.
The chop saw as well.
Ship World was having a massive sale on Halloween, and I got them for almost half price.
The chop saw works well.
There's one thing, I don't know whether you realize it or not, but Proxon and micro mold make a little bandsaw,
Hmm.
about 9-10 inches tall,
Hmm.
which is, it's quite a good saw, but they also sell a very small blade. When you put that blade on, it works much better than a fret saw.
Yeah, because it's not going vibrating up and
Yeah,
down.
It's beautiful.
Hmm.
The only thing you can't do, you can cut something on the inside.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But if you're cutting out frames or anything like that,
Mhm.
it beats the frets are way down. It's
Mhm.
just- It works great.
There's something I have, the little table, what do they call that saw? We have a saw in there. It's the very small micro mark thing. Has a deep throat,
Yeah,
very fine blade, and I've used that on a number of occasions.
but I understand what he's saying about it's still more vibration with that, and it's not a continuous cut, whereas the bandsaw is just a loop
Yeah, I
and
mean,
continuous
the
cut.
little-
Yeah.
Little pieces, you always hang on, you know.
Yeah, it wants to pull it up off the
Lift
table.
side to
Yep.
blade.
Hmm.
Doesn't happen with the.
Yep. No, I get you. Exactly. Thanks for being patient.
I'll tell you what,
You forgot.
now several years ago, I bought on sale a little benchtop drill press from our Expo.
Mhm.
$35. It was on sale. Now I saw it in a catalog, it's like $169 or something. So it's worked fine for a bunch of years now.
The new Proxon is $226. It's the same price from 4 different vendors. Home Depot, Amazon. Woodcraft.
The Micromark clone, if it exists, is probably about the same, or do you think it's cheaper? Yeah, we can look into that later. Yeah, we don't need to take the time in the meeting for that now.
You don't need it to
I'll put a
go.
list in the stand tomorrow.
All right, thank you, John. You had something to bring up?
Yeah, last month, Ron had requested that we resume the Mauler of the Month program.
Yeah.
Well, I had gone through the list and it is exhausted. So unless we can entice some of our newer members to participate, what it is basically is a brief write-up, not a very detailed bio, just an introduction of yourself, who you are, a photograph, and we put it into the into the logbook and into the time stamp for a month. So it's kind of a way for everyone else to get to know you. So I will be tapping you guys for that in the coming months. So if you wish to participate, and I hope you will, just get that information to me, or just talk to me about it. And I'll tell you how to get the information to me. Just something to fit on one 8x10 page, so we can frame it and see who you are.
And he's basically saying, do as I say, not as I do, because he's never been model of the month yet. So,
They can go to prior issues of the logbook and.
Yeah, I think you have published those and.
Yes.
Have been there, so.
I think Gene just stole the procrastinator of the year award from you.
oh, geez,
I'm just saving the best.
I'm
for last.
proud of that. I'm proud of that. How can you say that?
Yeah.
Um,
So anyways, that and there was something else, but I've forgotten already.
Okay, so back to the website, since you brought it up. Under About, there's Modeler of the Month. And you see the most recent one was George Livingston, August 2020. So it's been over a year, or are these maybe going up? No, going backwards. So you can learn a little bit. I read these and learned some things about people I've known in this club for over a decade that I never knew or had forgotten. So good way to get to know your fellow members. So go check that out when you have a few minutes to spare.
And I'll be coming for you.
Sounds ominous.
Yeah.
Any other old or new business?
New old.
Yeah.
The lady that does our hats and shirts is one for this month and next month, but in January, I'll start bringing the forms back in for new people who want to get shirts and hats. So we'll start that back up now that COVID's pretty much died out. We're here all the time. So you need shirt, hat, just think about it, and I'll have the list of the forms in January. So.
I get a little more information on the Delftaville Maritime Museum Club.
Okay,
It meets the second Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. at the Delftaville Maritime Museum. The first meeting was held in October, and they had eight modelers and would-be modelers in attendance. They're looking to get people started in the hobby. I think we were looking, we had a discussion on kits to get people who've never built a model to, just some informational kits to that would be good for a first-time modeler. And it's John Earl is the fellow that sent out the post on that.
okay. So something you could forward to me?
Yeah, I can copy this and send an email. I know that some of our modelers here did some work for the museum and they burned down.
Okay.
That did a lot of restorations for them.
So that brings up two things. I think this is the right link. So if you, after you log in, the menu pulls up members, and under that is merchandise. And I don't know if it's changed. Is this the same form?
Same form.
So don't give it to Tim until he's ready for it, but it's here ready for you. If you're not here to pick up a form from him, you can get it online. What was the other thing with it?
Are these the Lambs in church?
Pardon me?
Are these the Lambs in church?
No.
And you said something. Yep.
She orders them, so.
You guys see Best in Show?
Yeah.
She has different sources for sure.
Yeah.
But Greg, before you move on, I remembered what I was gonna comment on, so.
Okay, in just a second. And then just as a reminder, it's not really new business, but since we're talking about emailing things, you said you're going to send out an email. I still get, sometimes people send me something, would you please forward this to the rest of the club? And I wanted to point out that after you log in, under members, there's a link for email list. And if you click on that, it pulls up a list. You can just copy and paste that in. And this is updated as I add and remove people from the roster. This is automatically updated. So you don't have to send it to me. Please don't send it to me.
I'll try to send it to you.
Okay,
You did what I usually do.
what's that?
You kicked off Bill because you started with the I instead of the B.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't actually trying to email anything. So check that you have it all highlighted.
Happens to be all the time.
They can be new stuff.
Yes.
They can do what they do.
I think we were on, okay, I think we're on to new business anyway, aren't we? There's no more.
Could I interrupt for a minute?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The Delta Modelers Guild, they're going to start doing presentations. So Mr. Earl's running out of stuff. He doesn't want it to be all about him. So I may throw some things out there to the membership. I joined. It's 5 minutes from the house, so that was a no-brainer for me. But we're looking at doing some other things. And last Thursday's meeting, we had, I believe we had 14 folks.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's all I had to say.
Thanks, Don.
All righty.
Okay, I can't remember. I think we had a mixture of old and new business. I'm pretty sure there's no more old business. Any other new business?
Yeah, last weekend, Bob, Bill and I went to the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard Museum, which we had not realized it reopened finally last summer. And it's much smaller scale than it used to be. Many fewer models. They only had a few models in there. One of them, which was Bob Comets, this was in there. And they had that large scale, I forget what it was, frigate or something, very large. But the focus is more on, it seems, the city of Portsmouth and a little bit about the shipyard. So it's free. And if you've never seen it, it's probably, worth a few minutes to go, but it's a little underwhelming, at least from, what it used to be. They've had a hard time. It's been closed for what, 7, 8 years maybe? Yeah, it's been closed for quite a while. But just a note that they finally are open.
Where is it exactly?
It's right there, waterfront,
In the High Street,
High Street. Yeah.
Okay.
where the ferries used to be.
Yeah, and the light ship is still closed. Yeah, that's not open yet. I think they're citing remnants of COVID, staffing issues and stuff like that. So it's still slow going, but they are open and trying. I guess it's part of the, there's like 5 museums in Portsmouth, the Children's Museum, and there's an art museum, so it's part of that group. So they're not really a standalone.
Yeah, may as well. We're sergeant at arms.
We have one of those, don't we? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Should Bosun's made is what it should be, right? That the guy with the cat? Okay, so does that end the business portion?
If we're going into show and tell, I just want to let everybody know that we're missing our New Jersey guys, and they are at the National Lighthouse Museum, and they want to join us to show and tell. So I'm gonna text Tom. Let him know.
Oh, he wanted to know when to join? Yes. Yep, we are moving on to show and tell. I'm gonna stop and restart the recording.
Greg, when you, call on somebody, did you call their name?
Yes.
Sometimes I don't see who you're talking to back there.
Okay. I'll try. Thank you. Sometimes I have brain freeze. I know everyone's names and all of a sudden I lock up.
That comes with age.
Yep.
It's better with age.
I think I've always had it, so it's just getting worse.
Okay.